going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new episode of Down South Up North. Hope you guys are having a good Tuesday. Man, Matt, a lot of shit went down these past few days. We got a lot to talk about today, but first of all, how you doing, man?
I am doing excellent. I'm feeling excellent. You probably know, hinting at some stuff coming up, but you're right, dude. First of all, how are you feeling? Another overtime game for you. It didn't go into 8 overtimes this time, but dude, you like, I know your heart is beating like this, like nonstop these last couple of weeks.
I'll just do a quick play-by-play. Got the pick late in the fourth, and I was like, all right, if we score a touchdown, the game is over. And then Gunner Stockton throws to Stevie, and they almost take it back to the house and then go into overtime. And by that point, dude, the cap was off of the crown. We're drinking straight out of the bottle. And because my heart couldn't take it, dude. My heart cannot take it. But hey.
Whatever gets you through, man. But hey, Bulldogs came away with the dub. I don't know, dude. If I'm a fan of Georgia these last 2 weeks, hey, the good news is, first of all, y'all get in. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Second of all, you have this week off. You have the next couple weeks. You can kind of enjoy the holidays, enjoy what's going on. You don't have to stress as much as you have been these last couple weeks.
Yeah, dude. It is going to be nice. But let's waste no time and get into the athletic alert. Matt, dude, take it away.
Kyle, you just did a play-by-play. I'll give you a scene-by-scene how my Sunday night felt. Just, wrapping everything up. It's about 10:30, 11 o'clock. I'm getting ready for work the next day. All of a sudden, my phone just starts blowing up. Now keep in mind, watching Chiefs-Chargers, good football game going on, about early third quarter, and then bam, just everybody. I'm getting phone calls, text messages. I'm like, I wasn't expecting anything. Like breaking news, sports, whatever. Pick up my phone, and I see that beautiful alert from all my Twitter accounts, all my, apps, the score, ESPN, all this shit just breaks instantly. Juan Soto, the sweepstakes are over. He has chosen where he wants to go. And Kyle, that team is the New York Metropolitans. The King of Queens have an actual shot this year from the jump. Now, I want to be clear. Your Atlanta Braves were in the favorites to win it all last year, and they came out pretty flat at the end there. So, I don't want to get hyped. I really don't. I will say this. They paid $765 million for him over the next 15 years. He's 26 years old, so they're going to have him until the end of his career. I have read that the contract, with a couple of things within the contract, can get him to upwards of $800 million, which, Kyle, just saying the word $800 million
is crazy.
Is ridiculous for one player. It's ridiculous. However, to all you Yankee fans out there watching, first of all, I am so glad to be a Mets fan. It's like they signed Lindor a couple years ago, but to land somebody like Soto just feels really, really good. But it's real funny, Kyle, how quickly people change in the snap of a finger. Overrated, trash, average defender, terrible signing, They're saying the Mets are overpaying him. However, Kyle, I did some digging. The Yankees, you know how much the Yankees offered?
They offered him more.
No, they offered him a little bit less, but not by much.
A little bit less?
They offered him $760 million. And Steve Cohen was like, hey, you want to add a little $5 million to that check? It's blank. It is blank. Again, Shohei last year got that ridiculous contract for $700 million. That was insane to even think about. Does Soto deserve $765? I don't think so. But again, it's baseball, so cap is not really a thing. And the amount of money Steve Cohen has is more money than God, probably. So he's able to do these things. Now The only question is what will happen to Pete Alonso. However, they're still pushing for him. I
Yeah.
mean, he could still very much end up a New York Met. And if that happens, I think we need to have a serious conversation of, outside of pitching, the Mets and Dodgers line up pretty evenly. So, again, Yankees fans turning quick, man. I mean, 2 days ago, even, they were very hype, anxious, excited that he was going to re-sign with them. They were going to have a legitimate shot to run it back. And then all of a sudden, oh, you're overpaying him, as if you guys weren't going to offer him damn near the exact same offer. So, I don't know. It feels good. He's got. Will he ever live up to $765 million? I don't think anybody on the planet can do that. Not even the Barry Bonds of the world. But look, it's a new age, and these contracts just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and that's all it's gonna go. We're only gonna upscale from here. But Kyle, my question for you, man, like as a Braves fan who they weren't even in contention for Juan Soto, how does it feel that division rival Mets kind of just, I don't want to say shock the world, but shock the world?
I ain't stressing. I really ain't. He's going to hit 22 home runs and bat 225. I ain't stressing. But if I'm Braves GM, we've already let Travis d'Arnaud go, who was a World Series hero, and the fan base loved him, but he's getting old. You got to let him go. We're about to let Max Fried go. We're about to let all these players go. So if I'm Braves GM, it's like, okay, well, now we got like a really heavy hitter in our division. Like you have Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber and the Phillies. Now you have Pete Alonso, Juan Soto, Francisco Lindor, and the Mets. I ain't really worried about the Nationals, but you got those two teams. How are you going to compete with that? Chris Sale can't do it by himself. How are you going to compete with that? You got to go get pitching. So that's what he has to do as a GM. He's got to go get some pitching because, like you said, dude, Mets, now their roster is starting to come together. If they keep Pete and they keep if they just keep Pete, Lindor's a great leader. You got a good catcher in Alvarez. Team's young, just need a little bit more pitching. But, yeah, dude, this division's going to be fun next year to watch for sure.
I think we also need to keep in mind about Acuna's little brother on the Mets because he was starting to come out a little bit at the end there. And, with time, it's only going to get better. But they're going to have to put him probably at second base. I would assume.
Jeff McNeil, dude.
Right.
I mean, want to say the 4-letter word there, but Jeff McNeil is doo-doo. Get him out of there.
Yeah, and
Put Acuna, a young stud at second base, and you guys have a really, really good ball team.
I think it's going to be a situation where McNeil may start the first couple months with the thought in the back of his head, hey, my window is closing here in New York, but I don't know. It's going to be interesting for sure, but I don't know. Waking up today felt great. Not going to lie. Waking up yesterday felt great. I took the day to have it all settle in. Can't really remember the last time the Mets signed, a guy of this caliber. But I don't know, Kyle. It's good. But then again, Pete Alonso, I'm also hearing he may not go to the Mets, or I'm sorry, if the Mets don't re-sign him, he may go to the Nationals. Just saying. Then we have a competition to talk about.
Yeah.
Because then the East, that's where we,
No way he goes to the Nationals. Dude, he wants to win. He's tired of losing.
I know, but
I guess money talks, dude.
It does. It does, and I don't know. I mean, again, it'd be great if the Mets re-sign him. I think, like you said, opposing pitchers are going to be very, very scared to see the first four in the lineup be Francisco Lindor, Juan Soto, Brandon Nimmo, Pete Alonso.
That's nice.
Like that's got to be top 3 scariest first 4 hitters. And then you have guys in the back end, right? Starling Marte. You have Alvarez even, who's a pretty good hitter at catcher. Other guys you can pull. Vientos. Vientos had a hell of a postseason, and he's not going to be in that first 4. So, I don't know. But very, very interesting. Speaking of interesting, we'll move on to Sunday. The other news that happened over the weekend, earlier on Sunday. College football playoff. Talked about it last week. First time ever. Top 12 teams. And there are a lot of pissed off Alabama fans out there. I know you're happy. I'm thrilled that the committee did not let their bias get in front of them. However, I can see the Georgia blanket in your background. Before we get there, I want to know your thoughts on this. Clemson SMU played on Saturday night. A hell of a game. Clemson had it in the bag pretty much up until the very end, where their kicker nailed a 56-yarder to win it. But Clemson gets the 12 seed. SMU gets the 11 seed. I want to know your thoughts on that.
First play of the game, SMU fumbles. Not good. Like Clemson, Cade Klubnik and their tight end, and like they were just firing on all cylinders. And they got up, 21-7, like pretty quick.
It was early.
It was early. And then I kept watching an SMU dude. That quarterback got in a rhythm, and it was just like poetry in motion, dude. He would 3-step drop, just fire it 20 yards downfield, bang, in stride, moving the chains, just got in a rhythm. SMU's a really good football team, dude. And I think if they don't come back in that game and, like, play – I mean, they still lost, but come back and play as good as they did, you throw Alabama in. But that showed the committee, okay, like Clemson's a really good football team. They've only lost twice this year.
3.
3?
They have 3 losses.
They lost to Georgia, South Carolina.
They had one more, and it was, I want to say it was late.
Yeah, 3 losses.
Because I saw that, but it's like, yo, they're a lock since they won the ACC. They lost to Louisville.
Yes, they did. You're right.
In the middle of the season.
Yeah, SMU, they scored 17 in the fourth. Like, that's they played good football in the second half, dude, and just came up a little bit short, but their 2 losses, that was their second loss. So, I mean,
I don't know.
If I'm looking at, other teams, I'm like, bro, you can't throw in Alabama because you lose. Like, you just flat out lose. It's not like a nail biter and like, they lost in a game-winning field goal against a team that's 6-6.
No,
Vanderbilt.
I thought another team they lost to who was 6-6, which I think this is the reason they didn't make it, was freaking Oklahoma, who they lost 24-3. You don't put up a touchdown versus an Oklahoma team that is just garbage. You don't put up a touchdown.
You get smacked by Oklahoma. You lose you just flat out lose against Tennessee. But your argument is, but we beat Georgia. I think everyone in the committee and everyone across the country that's a college football fan knows if Georgia doesn't have the worst first half they've had in probably 20 years, Georgia wins that game by at least 2.
But Carl, it's not even that. It's not even that. It's a lot of NFL teams, there's things called trap games. And trap games, for those who don't know, it's when you're a really good football team, you're playing a very mediocre, below average team, and you overlook them. You're like, oh, we're playing Vanderbilt this week. We're going to focus on whoever the hell we're playing next week. And then you lose because you get caught lacking, right? You're overlooking them. You're not really taking them seriously. It's called a trap game. And Alabama fell in that category twice. And it's like, if you can't focus on the team in front of you, there are teams in the top 12 that Alabama very well could have been like, all right, we're playing Arizona State this week. We're the SEC. We play all the good teams, and we're the big and bad Alabama. Like, no. Because there are teams that are very deserving to be in this top 12 that Alabama could very easily overlook. And I'm just glad the committee didn't put their bias because, Kyle, for a second there was one spot left, and they did a very good job revealing in the order which they did. They did the first four, right? They did Oregon, they did Georgia, they did Boise State, Arizona State. And then they go Clemson at 12, and then they go 6 through 11. And of course, that last 11 seed could have been SMU or Alabama. I kid you not, I was shocked when I saw SMU pop up on there. I was in shock because I thought as soon as all the other teams were unveiled, I was like, dude, it's Alabama. Like, Alabama somehow found a way in because last year the big argument was Alabama over FSU, but FSU didn't have a quarterback. Like, it was a whole thing, and I'm like, don't do it 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
You lost 3 games, very much like you said, could have been 4. They didn't make their conference championship game. I understand. I think South Carolina had a better argument than Alabama this year.
I think so too, but their thing is Bama beat them.
Yeah.
And they got smacked by Ole Miss. And they dropped another game, I believe.
Look, Ole Miss was very shaky this year. I mean,
Georgia
lost.
I will say, South Carolina lost against LSU in overtime, but South Carolina got a pick 6 late in the game, like super late, and it got called back, and the officials came just flat out and said that was a bad call, that the pick 6 should have stood. So South Carolina should have 2 losses. I don't know. South Carolina is just a damn good football team, dude, and that just sucks that they didn't get in. I wanted SMU or South Carolina, flat out. SMU, really good football team, 2 losses. I mean, their strength of schedule wasn't there. It's their first year in the ACC, but, I mean, come on. Like, they got the wins. They were down big in the ACC championship game, and they almost came back and won the whole thing. So
look, it was like you said earlier about that Alabama-Georgia game. If they don't have a terrible first half, they might win that football game.
That's what I'm saying.
They might.
That's what I'm saying. So for y'all that don't know, we'll just run through the seedings. Matt already said 1 through 4. Clemson 12. They go off to Texas to face the Longhorns.
I feel bad.
Dude, Clemson, watch out. They're a good football team, dude. They might either get blown out or they get a little W for the boys. This is going to be a great game.
Horns up,
Tennessee versus Ohio State in Columbus. That's going to be a great football game. Going to love that. Winner goes off to face Oregon, SMU, Penn State. That game's going to be a shitter. Winner goes to face off against Boise State.
What an easy fucking path.
Georgia has a very easy path. Indiana, Notre Dame, winner plays Georgia, and then we play the winner, either SMU, Penn State, or Boise State. And then at that point, we either probably play Texas or Oregon for the Natty. But I mean, dude, I love the 12-team playoff, dude. This is just beautiful to look at.
We've had this discussion in recent years because it's been out there that they're going to 12 and expanding. I remember the two of us wanted only 8 teams to go, but I'm not gonna lie, I think 12 teams is better. I mean, it sucks because I'm for once I think we're both agreeing with what the committee is doing. But like you said, it's good to look at. I think most of the matchups are pretty even. Even Clemson, Texas. I think Clemson's a good football team. They've been here before, maybe not to this scale, but Texas is newer to this kind of college football playoff. They weren't there last year.
They were.
Yes, they were. I'm sorry. They were. But still, new to the SEC,
yeah.
I mean, hell, you just lost to a football team twice in the same season. That's got to have some mental effect on you that Clemson could take advantage of. But I don't know. I don't know. Like you said, SMU, Penn State, like those teams are both pretty shitty. But your dogs, number 2, man. Congratulations on that.
Thank you,
I
brother.
think I think it's rightfully deserves. I don't think they should be above Oregon, because Oregon is
I,
the only unbeaten team left, which I think is pretty insane. I mean, that's first year in the Big Ten, which had a pretty decent schedule too.
you play Ohio State, you play Boise State, who they. But if you really look at Oregon's schedule and like what they done, it's like, yeah, they're undefeated, but are you really that impressed?
I don't know. They played three, I believe, three teams in the top 12. They beat Penn State, they beat Ohio State, and they beat Boise State. Did they play anybody else they didn't play Indiana, I know that. And I don't think any other Big 10 teams made it.
Like this is just, yeah, they beat Boise State by 3. They beat Ohio State by 1. They did kind of piss on Illinois, but Illinois is 20th. You handle
Still
business
a top
against
20 team.
Michigan. Um, you beat Penn State by a touchdown.
Yeah,
Like
that was closer than it should have been though.
that's what I'm saying.
I don't know.
But oh,
Rightfully, do you think the committee got it right?
100%. They
Okay.
actually
Okay.
100% got it right this
Okay.
year.
Yeah.
Because Oregon, new conference, you go 13-0, win the whole conference. I mean, if you're not number one, then it's just rigged. Like a win's a win. But it's just you looking deeper into their games and their schedule, you're just like, yeah, they're undefeated, but like there is 3 or 4 scares. You play a good Ohio State team. If Dan Lenning doesn't pull the 12 man on the field bull crap, I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know.
That still stings to this day, man.
And then you beat Boise State by 3. Like I don't know. It's just, but
And remember
I
what I
could sit here
said.
forever.
I truly and I still believe this. I think Ohio State clears Oregon on a neutral field. And if Ohio State, biggest thing for the Buckeyes, they're playing in Columbus. Last time they were there, they played frickin' Michigan and lost. It was a terrible, terrible day to be an Ohio State fan. So and they're going back to Columbus where they all got they booed Ryan Day and the entire coaching staff. Secondly, what is Ohio State's biggest weakness?
Their biggest weakness.
Yeah.
My thing is quarterback.
Okay. I don't disagree, but I think it's offensive line. And what is one of Tennessee's biggest strengths?
Their defensive front.
Exactly. And they are going to get out to the quarterback, and I don't think Will Howard is going to have a great day if he's under pressure all day long. But I still think they can win that game. If they get through Tennessee convincingly, I think they have a real shot at Oregon, and then they're probably gonna have to play Texas. And I think Ohio State has the hardest path, pending everything else that happens, and I think probably Georgia has the easiest path. Would you agree?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe Texas, because Texas goes Clemson, who I think they can beat. Then they go Arizona State, which I think they can beat. And then they go winner of Oregon, either Tennessee or Ohio State. I think that's harder than the path Texas has. Or Georgia.
Oh,
Georgia,
easily.
sorry.
Easily.
Yeah, so I don't know. Ohio State has a very big mountain. But you know what, Kyle? They definitely deserve it. They definitely deserve it because if you go out there and shit the bed like they did versus Michigan, then you deserve to have the hardest path. So
Yeah. But I don't know, dude. This is games don't I think the first round of games they start December 20th. So coming up in about 2 weeks. Dude, The only two games I'm going to watch is Tennessee, Ohio State, and Indiana, Notre Dame to see who Georgia's playing.
Yeah.
Like Clemson, Texas is going to be a blowout,
Yeah,
or
you don't got to worry about the other side of the bracket because you're not going to – you'll see that game when you need to.
yeah, exactly. But SMU, Penn State, like I'm not going to watch that. I'll watch Penn State, SMU, whoever versus Boise State,
Right.
because whoever wins that game, if Georgia wins, we get to play them next. But dude, like it's picking up, dude. This is what we've been waiting for. We finally got it. I'm excited. This is gonna be fun, man.
Get your popcorn ready.
Yeah, get your popcorn ready, dude. This is gonna be some fun football to watch in the next coming weeks.
All right, Kyle, to wrap it up here, to wrap up today's episode, let's get a prediction. Who plays? We're not going to do the whole bracket. I just want your final two and who wins. Final two teams in the first ever 12-team format college football playoff championship game. And who is your victor?
I don't know if you can see that blanket right behind me, right there.
I said I could. Thank you.
I got the Dogs going against Texas. Part 3.
Dogs versus and you're picking the Dogs?
Again, baby, again. It's either going to be Georgia, Texas, or we get a rematch of last year's semifinal game, Georgia, Ohio State.
No, don't put me through that misery.
Because
with the way that Ohio State's kicker played against Michigan, I do not want that bullshit happening.
I firmly believe if Ohio State beats Tennessee, I think they're all the way. Like they're beating Oregon on a neutral field.
You think so?
I firmly believe that. It's just like
okay, but final prediction.
I'll go with Georgia, Texas.
Okay.
The past two games haven't been a shootout with them. I think Georgia wins that one 17-13.
Dude, it's tough, man, because I'm not going to lie. I have no faith with anybody on Georgia's side of the bracket besides Georgia. Boise State, hell no. Penn State and SMU, hell no. Indiana, Notre Dame, hell no. And Kyle, let's put it on the record. If Notre Dame beats Indiana, please beat the living piss out of every Notre Dame Fighting Irish fan and their team on the field.
We are 5-0 against them since
please,
2000
please,
something. So
please do it for me. Hate Notre Dame.
That's the plan, brother. That's the plan.
But on this other side, like it's a toss up.
It is. It is.
Like
Clemson, dude. Clemson's like a sneaky.
That's what I'm saying.
Team.
Like they could very easily win that game. Okay, I have Georgia in the national championship. Dude, I gotta go Oregon. But
a lot of people have that.
But last year we saw the Michigan Wolverines complete the perfect season. And I hate to say this because this would break that record that we talked about a couple months ago, Georgia being ranked number 1 in the AP poll. But I'm going to go Georgia, Oregon. 1 and 2, I know it's classic, right? How freaking original, but I'm going with the Dogs. I'm going to pick the Bulldogs to beat Oregon 23-20. I think they win on a game-winning kick.
I like that.
However, Carson Beck's injury he has no timetable to return, but he's got a lot of time to rest, and they only got to win 2 games.
Dude, that's a whole nother discussion that we could have. Mike Bobo is a terrorist. Let's get that out of the way. He works for Al Qaeda. He is a terrorist.
No.
He is
He's
a terrorist.
the reason y'all beat Texas. Mike Bobo
No,
was
no,
the
no, no, no. The reason
MVP
why
of
we
the
beat
SEC
Texas is
championship.
because of Kirby Smart's big nuts. That's the only reason why we beat them and his defense. If Mike Bobo rewatches that Georgia Tech game and looks at Haynes King and what he did to us, bro, that is a replica of Gunnar Stockton in my eyes. He could do it on his feet and he could do it with his arm. Instead of throwing 50 screen passes to the left and right, just switch that out with a read option, baby, and you got the best offense in college football. Just let Gunner make that read. It's either hand off to ETN for a 5 to 6 yard gain up the gut, or you just pull it and you just go down the sideline. Like bro, it was. I'm tired as a Georgia fan. It's 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, and we're running these dumbass passes that Arian Smith, Dylan Bell, all of our guys drop. I'm tired of it. But with a guy like Gunner who can actually run, read option, pulls it, he runs down the field for a 6-7 yard gain. That's a first down. That's fresh set of downs. So take out the screen passes, add the read option. Boom. Greatness.
He's waiting, Kyle. He's waiting. Bobo is teasing us. He's like, yo,
no,
y'all haven't seen nothing yet.
No,
y'all have not seen nothing yet.
Y'all saw 30 screen passes a game against Texas. I'm about to go 60, baby. I'm about to double it.
Nah. Kyle, we're only halfway through the book. Mike Bobo has a whole nother half of the playbook. He's waiting for the college football playoff.
And what's so sad is before the SEC championship, my Lord and Savior, my sweet King, Todd Monken was talking to him before the game. I was like, dude, you know Todd gave him some plays. No doubt.
Nah. Bobo. In Bobo, we trust.
No.
Mike Bobo.
No.
He's going to do it, man. I believe.
No, dude, I could sit here forever. But, guys, that's going to do it for today's episode. If you enjoyed it, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Check out our social medias down in the description below. Dude, today was a crazy episode, dude. We had to recap championship weekend of the 12-team playoff.
Then we had
what we think, a little predictions.
The Soto Sweepstakes.
The damn Mets, dude. I hate them. I hate the Mets, but
World
what
Series
you think
favorites.
about today's episode, dude? What'd you think?
I feel good. My teams are doing all right. My teams are doing all right, man. Still, it's going to be a rough winter with the Dallas Cowboys, regardless of what happens. But hey, we're not talking about them for a reason. So, but no, I feel good. I'm excited for this college football playoff. It's going to give me a little bit more college football to focus on, so at least I get to watch good teams play, all throughout the holidays. So I'm excited.
Yeah, dude, it's going to be awesome. So, guys, that's going to do it for today's episode. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace!